Brett VEACH has money. Brett VEACH wants a third consecutive Super Bowl. I see zero reason to believe that this is the team with which the Kansas City Chiefs will ultimately enter the 2024 NFL season. There are always small things you figure out along the way that you don't quite have what you need in this place or that. So, the fact that I'm bringing you 5 free agents today can only mean one thing. The defensive tackle rundown video is taking longer than I thought. But these names are different than most of the names I have presented before. First off, no Hunter Renfrow. Why? Because we've made that argument. No Calais Campbell. Why? Because we've made that argument. There are 2 wide receivers, 1 offensive tackle, 1 edge player, and 1 defensive tackle on this list. None of them are all that big a name. Well, there's some big names, but maybe not at this point in their career. I think that what the Kansas City Chiefs are mainly going to be looking for at this point is to erase the little... So if you're building a rock wall, right, there's all these, like a dry stack rock wall. You need little rocks to put in different spots. That is, I think, the metaphor that is going to be prevalent for the Chiefs going forward, because this is a very young team, this is a very athletic team, this is a team with size and speed, but there are little questions here and there. Among those little questions is the wide receiver position, namely, what do the Kansas City Chiefs do in the event of the suspected Rashee Rice suspension? Kind of what you want on the field in that case is a big, sturdy wide receiver. If you don't think Justin Ross is that guy, if you don't think you have another one of those guys on the roster, Justin Watson, not that guy, if that's what you believe, these 2 names make a little bit of sense. Number 1, Julio Jones, 6'3", 220 pounds, 33 3/4 inch arms, ran a 4.39 40 coming out of college, probably does not anymore. Had a 38.5 inch vertical, probably does not anymore. The question with Julio Jones is, do you want a ring? Do you actually want a ring this time? He has 13,703 career yards, 66 career touchdowns. As a wide receiver, Julio Jones, even at this advanced stage in his career, is absolutely able to do the things the Chiefs would need out of a solid X receiver. He's not going to be probably what Rashee Rice was last season. You don't necessarily need that. Last season, you didn't have Hollywood Brown. Last season, you didn't have Xavier Worthy. Having a guy that you know you can depend on, even if he's not all that explosive anymore, even if there are questions around the periphery of what it means to be Julio Jones and how much Julio Jones is left inside there, if he is willing to sell out for the first 8 weeks of a season, stick on a roster and win a ring, that is absolutely worth it, and I think would be worth it for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. The second name on this list, wide receiver Corey Davis. Corey Davis was someone that I liked coming out of college. 6'3", 209 pounds, 33 inch arms, did not do a whole lot of testing, probably because it would not have gone very well. This would be a Brett VEACH special. Brett VEACH loves to acquire former first-round picks that washed out in the league for one reason or another, and Corey Davis has washed out of the league for one reason and another. Corey Davis, though, I do think if Corey Davis has not been put in the best positions, I do not believe. Corey Davis, I think, does have talent. Is he going to provide you what Rashee Rice did? No. He might make the loss of Rashee Rice a little easier to deal with. It might be that he is Justin Ross plus 10%. It might be that he is Justin Watson plus 10% athleticism. So there are definitive doubts about Corey Davis's game. I don't see why the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't shell out $1 million, bring him in for training camp, and see if there's anything left in there. So the next name on this list is Riley Reiff. Riley Reiff. What did you think I said? I have no idea what you're talking about. 6'6", 310 pounds, 33 1/4 inch arms, did 26 reps on the bench press with 225 pounds. Here's the big thing with Riley Reiff. 156 starts, 9,315 snaps in his career, 0 rings. If Riley Reiff is willing to come in and be the glue guy on the offensive line, this means he is a swing tackle. He is a possibility at right guard, at left guard. If he is willing to learn all 4 of those spots on the line for the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't think that he would be very good at a center position. Then what you have is a guy who can be kept on the game day roster, kept in jersey, and it saves you another guy from having to dress out. Now, why do this when you have spent so many assets on the offensive line in this past off season? 3 draft picks in the same class on offensive line. Well, you do this because Wanya Morris is only in his second season. Kingsley Suamataia is a rookie. Hunter Nourzad is a rookie. CJ Hansen is a rookie. This is a guy with 156 starts. This is a guy with nearly 10,000 career snaps. He can come in and not only fill in wherever it is necessary, he can come in and teach your very young offensive line. Look, Creed Humphrey's young. Trey Smith is young. He can come in and show your very young offensive line what it means to be a professional. Yes, they already have a couple guys that are veterans. A couple guys who are veterans only go so far. I think that this would be a good move, not just on the field, but in the clubhouse, in the position meetings for the Kansas City Chiefs. Riley Reiff has been a solid contributor during his entire NFL career. Next, edge Rasheem Green. 6'4", 279 pounds, 33 3/4 inch arms, ran a 4.7 340-yard dash with a 1.65 10-yard split, did 23 reps on the bench press with 225 pounds, and has a 9-foot 10-inch broad jump. His most impressive season was 2021 when he racked up 6.5 sacks. This is not going to be a massive impact move. I don't think it would be a massive money move either. I think that what you are looking for if you are bringing in a guy like Rasheem Green, and I think maybe it makes some sense to do so, is you're looking to stop the depth chart at, Charles Omenihu, all right. George Karlaftis, all right. Felix Anudike-Uzomah, maybe. We haven't seen a whole lot. Mike Dana, all right. After that, you have Malik Herring is okay, but Brett Veach has proven time and again that he is willing to churn the roster through the bottom 10 spots, and I think Malik Herring probably falls into the bottom 10 spots of that 53-man roster. If you don't think B.J. Thompson or Truman Jones are able to really step up and make those contributions this year, then it makes sense to bring in a guy like Rasheem Green, who has played quite a bit of football in the NFL. Not maybe the most decorated edge player in the NFL, but he's got the size. Last season, he was designated more as a defensive lineman, so he gives you a little bit of versatility on the inside as well. And finally, Lawrence Guy, Old Larry Guy himself. Defensive tackle, 6'4", 315 pounds, 32 3/4 inch arms. Ran a 5.08 40-yard dash. It's a pretty good time. 29-inch vert. That's a pretty good vert. And 28 reps on the bench press. Pretty good. I don't think he probably puts up any of those numbers anymore. 507 tackles, 17 sacks over the length of his career. You have Chris Jones at defensive tackle. Then what? Worst case scenario, this is, so Derek Nottie, is that your number 2? Maybe. Who's your number 3? Tershawn Wharton, Fabian Levette? Those are 3 and 4 kind of right in there. Matt Dickerson, number 5. So bringing in a guy like this, if nothing else for training camp, forces everyone else to realize, oh, my NFL journey could be over. But also would add a definitive floor to the defensive tackle position. A position for the Kansas City Chiefs that kind of, if Derek Nottie sprains an ankle and Tershawn Wharton has an elbow issue, what are the Chiefs doing at defensive tackle? I mean, I'm available, but I'm a little undersized. So these are 5 names to maybe look for the Kansas City Chiefs to sign as free agents this training camp. There is some money to be thrown around by Brett Veach, and I fully expect him to do so. I think probably we get through the 53-man roster cuts, the 90 to 53-man roster cuts, before we see any definitive trigger being pulled by Brett Veach and this organization. But yeah, again, I do not think that this is the team that we are ultimately going to see on the field on Sundays. So if you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, consider hitting the subscribe button in order to stick around for more content in the future, more Chiefs-based content in the future. The Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel. And I hope to have you back for the next one.